Hey there, Coxie here, and welcome to this video where I'm going to show you what I believe is the best way for anyone, including you, to make as much money as you want using cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, right? Now, I'm sure we've all heard of those stories where people have become instant millionaires or overnight millionaires in Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies by investing $100 or $1,000 or whatever it was. And the price of Bitcoin has gone up so much that that $100 or $1,000 has turned into $100,000 or $1 million, right? Well, the bad news is those days are over, right? Sure, you might be able to invest some money and that money might be able to double over time or something like that. It might be able to. But to get the growth that we've had in the past, those days are over. So the good news is you can still make as much money as you want with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. It's still very early. There's still a lot of opportunity. And the opportunity I'm talking about is trading Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, primarily or specifically compounding your profits. Now, if you don't know what compounding is or how compounding profits works or something, as you can tell, I'm at the computer. I'm going to flick the camera around. I'm going to record the screen and walk you through how compounding works and how you can compound cryptocurrencies to basically be in total control, right? And make as much money as you want, basically, because those people who buy Bitcoin and have one strategy, and that is gambling, right? Hope. They're just hoping for the price to just keep going up, and that's how they make money. Those days are over, right? And hope is not a good strategy anyway. So what I'm talking about is being in control. And I know so many people who don't really understand trading, like stock market or something. They truly believe it's gambling. And depending on how you do it, it could be gambling. But what I'm saying, it's not gambling at all. It's putting all the control in your hands. You're controlling everything. And you're minimizing the risk and you're controlling everything to allow you to profit regularly and consistently. So let's go to the computer and I'll show you exactly what I mean. All right, so as you can see, I'm at the computer and here is a little table I've created to explain the power of compounding. So we have 4 columns here: the trade number, the balance, the profit percentage, and the profit in terms of dollar value. Right, so let's look at trade number 1. So let's say you start with $100. So your balance is $100. You buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. And let's say you're wanting a 10% profit. Okay, so all of this is hypothetical, but it's just to show how the mathematics of compounding works. Okay, so you put in $100, you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, and you keep it there until the price of Bitcoin goes up 10%. As soon as it's gone up 10%, you sell it, and therefore you have profited 10%. 10% of $100 is $10, right? So this is how you compound. Instead of on trade number 2 investing $100 again and keeping the $10 profit, you're investing the whole lot again. So in trade number 2, you're actually investing $110. Your initial $100 plus your $10 profit. Again, you're wanting a 10% profit, right? In this example, we're having the same profit percentage every time, but the dollar value keeps increasing because your balance keeps increasing. So 10% of $110 is $11 now. So you've just profited $1 more than the first trade, right? So then trade number 3, $110, 10% profit, $11 profit. So that's $110 plus $11 profit. Now your balance is $121. Again, you're wanting a 10% profit. When that hits, you sell, and you're making $12.10 profit on that trade alone. So that trade is $1.10 more than the previous. And it goes on and on and on. Trade number 4, your balance now is $132.10. You're wanting a 10% profit. On that, you sell, you get $13.21 profit. And trade number 5, $145.31 is your balance. You put it all in, you buy all of it, Bitcoin, you get a 10% profit, you sell it, and you profit for that trade only $14.53. So your total balance now is $159.84. So you've gained $59.84 in 5 trades. And as you can see from the dollar profit value, the first profit you profited the first trade you profited $10. The next one $11. The next one $12.10. The next one $13.21. So as you can see, the amount gets more and more and more, bigger and bigger each trade. And still, we're talking small numbers and so on. You might think, what a waste or something. But once that compounding kicks in, you could be profiting 100 or 1,000 each trade. So let me walk you through that. So here we are at iCoin Pro. Now, iCoin Pro is a website. It's all cryptocurrencies. It's cryptocurrency education, training, trading tools, all that sort of stuff. This is the place where I have gone. I've become a member, as you can see in the top right corner, my name. So this is where I've learned 99% of everything I know cryptocurrencies, in terms including how to trade, how to compound, where to buy Bitcoin, where to sell Bitcoin, how Bitcoin works, everything. So this is the place I go. And I'll leave a link to iCoin Pro if you want to check it out. You can sign up for free. So here we are at the compounding returns calculator. So if we scroll down, I'm going to give you a couple of examples, right? So let's say the initial amount, let's say you start with $1,000. Of course, it could be $10, it could be $100. It doesn't matter. I'm just showing how compounding works. So let's say you start with $1,000 and you want, after 1 year, let's say you're going for a 5% per month gain, right? So the example I gave before was 10% per trade. Here, we're talking 5% per month increase on your balance, okay? So if we click calculate, it will tell us if we invested $1,000 and we got 5% return per month, after 1 year, we would have $1,816. After 2 years, it would increase up to $3,300. After 3 years, I'll just do 5 years, it's $5,900. So it's sort of really getting up there now. Year number 4 is $10,000, right? After $1,000, after 4 years of just compounding 5% on your balance per month, you've already 10 times your value, right? Your balance, $10,000 now. I'll just do one more. And this is $19,000, right? In 5 years, that $1,000 has turned into $19,000, right? So let's do $2,000. So let's double our investment, our start. We'll go back to 1 year to start, and let's go up to 10%. I'm just going to show you how changing the initial amount or any add-ons, we're not doing any add-ons, and what sort of percentage return gain per month and how many years, how that affects or changes the amount you get, right? So after 1 year, if you initially put in $2,000, after 1 year gaining 10% per month, that's $6,600 already, right? After 2 years, it's increased to $21,000. $21,000 in 2 years by doing $2,000 at 10% per month. Oops, I've just clicked that again. 3 years is $71,000. 3 years. Start with $2,000 only. 3 years at 10% per month, right? Unbelievable, right? That's the power of compounding. After 4 years, it's $237,000, and I'll just do one more. 5 years is $783,000, right? And that's just by doubling the amount you started with and doubling how much return you can get per month, right? So that's the power. So let's do one more example. Let's increase this by another 1,000, and let's increase this by another 5%. And we'll start at 1 year. So now we're doing $3,000 at 15%. After 1 year, it's already $17,000. After 2 years, it's $100,000 already. $3,000 after 2 years at 15% per month is $107,000. I probably shouldn't even go any further. 3 years is 646,000. Let's just get to a million, I guess. 4 years is $3.8 million, right? Now, let's go back to 1,000 at 5% after 5 years. What was the total? This is 3.8 million, and this was 19,000, right? So the only difference is we've increased the initial amount by $2,000. Instead of 1, it was 3,000. And instead of the monthly return, instead of $5,000, 5%, it was 15%. So we increased by 10%. In fact, we only did 4 years for the $3,000 as well, right? So the amount you put in affects your compounding greatly. And I'm not saying put in more money than you can't afford. Never do that. There's nothing wrong with starting with $10 or $50 or $100, right? I'm just showing you the mathematics of compounding. I'm not saying or guaranteeing you or promising you anything. I'm not saying you will make this money. I'm not saying you won't make this money. I'm not saying anything like that. All I'm doing is showing you the power of compounding and what I'm doing. And what was I going to say? So the amount of money you put in greatly affects your compounding amount. The percentage of how much you can get percent on your balance per month affects greatly, as you saw. Between 5% and 15% was over $3 million difference, right? Now, of course, this is all hypothetical because you'll never get exactly the same percentage per month. That's impossible, right? So again, I'm not promising anything. I'm just saying, look at the power of compounding. And to give you a hint on this, the smaller the percentage that you go for per trade, remember the first example I showed you, we did 10% per trade. The smaller the percent, the more often you can compound or complete a trade. Because how often does Bitcoin or a coin increase by 10%? Nowhere near as often as it does 1%. And that's what I do. I go for a minimum of 1% per trade. So I'm compounding regularly. I can compound multiple times per day at 1%, but I might be waiting a week or a month or more if I want to get 10%, right? So there's a little bit of a hint or a tip as well. So let me just show you some of my trades to give you an idea of what I've been doing actually. All right, so here we are at my Excel spreadsheet where I do all my noting of all my trades and everything. So I've blacked out a lot of things. Now, I've blacked out this section because it's a different account. I don't want to confuse you there. But all these blackouts here are just the dollar values. So the dollar value is absolutely irrelevant, right? If I tell you I made $10,000 this month, you might say, wow, sign me up. But if I started with $1 million to make $10,000, that's not that impressive. But if I started with $10,000 and I made $10,000, that's very impressive. So it's not how much money there is because it's about the percentage, right? If you can double your money, start with 10,000 and finish with 20,000, make 10,000, that's 200%. You've just doubled your money. But if you start with $1 million and you make 10%, that's, what's that? 100,000 is 10%. 100,000. So 10,000 is 1%. I think it's 1%, right? It's not as much, right? So the dollar value is absolutely irrelevant. But I will say this. I will say, because we're talking compounding, the amount I made in the last 2 months, I'm recording this on March 1, 2021. So both January and February, the profits I made were more than in each month, both months. The profit I made was more than the amount I made in the year 2 years before when I started doing this. What I mean is the compounding has started to kick in so much that I'm making more per month than I was making per year 2 years ago with this, right? Just like I said with the example I gave at the start, you profit $1, $10, then $11.20 or whatever it was, right? Very small amounts. For a while, you think this is a waste of time, right? It's just I'm profiting such small amounts, but stick with it, and the compounding effect will kick in, and then you'll start making more than you made before, right? It just keeps increasing more and more and more. So here are my trades in August. There's the coins I trade. So I traded Link every time except for one. I traded Bitcoin. Here are the percentage increases I gained per trade. Again, I go for a minimum of 1% per trade. I'm not saying you should. This is what I do. These are the dates I did them. So 8%, 3%, 1%, 2%, 1%, 1%. So that was on the 2nd. So I did 4 trades on the 2nd. Right, 2 on the 3rd, 2 on the 5th. Right, I do multiple trades. Look at all these. Right, so I did all these trades. I never put my whole balance in at one time, but I added all these up. My total balance increased by 7.76% for the month. Right. So let's go into September. I only did one trade. Right, I was busy. It was my birthday. There were celebrations, and I increased my balance by 0.13%. I did one trade, 1.48%. Again, like I said before, you're never going to get the same percent each month. All right, October, I didn't even trade. All right, November, I did, what's that? 6 trades. Right, and look at the amounts: 32%, 20%, 50%, 21%, 5 and 4. Again, I don't put my whole balance in. That's risky. That's stupid, right? So a portion of my balance got these. So my total balance increased by 12.16% for the month. That's how much my balance increased. December, I did about 7 trades, 2%, 1%, 1%, 2.3, 1, 15, and 17. My balance grew by 3.69%. January, I was very busy, very active. I did a lot of trades, as you can see there. 13, 1, 1, 1, 3, 17, 8, 0. I miscalculated there. 6, 15, 2, blah, blah, blah. A lot of numbers there. My total balance increased by 31.53%. So me showing you by increasing per month 5% or 10% or 15%, that's not unreasonable or unrealistic. It's possible. Will you get it? I have no idea. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I can't guarantee a single thing. But that's in 1 month, my total balance increased by 31%. And February, the last month I traded, which was finished yesterday, 22 trades. Again, 5, 1, 1, 0.9, 10, 1, 3, 13, 21, 24. My total balance increased by 28.53%. Right? So as you can see, I had 2 really good months there, and that's why part of the reason why my total dollar value profit for the 2 months was greater than my dollar value profit for the year 2 years ago when I started trading, when I was a real beginner. I didn't know what I was doing. So that is it for this video. A lot to learn about trading. It's not gambling. The more you learn, the more you realize it's not gambling. You can control a lot of things. Keeping percentages small gives you the advantage. It happens so often. It's just a no-brainer, in my opinion. Starting with a small amount, trading smart, learning as much as you can, keeping percentages small, keep it ticking over, and you can keep compounding, and it can keep going on forever. You just keep compounding until you reach the amounts that you're wanting to reach. You could be making, for example, a goal is $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month as an income doing this, right? So it's definitely possible. I'm not guaranteeing anything or anything like this. It depends on you and how much you put in time, money, effort, and patience. You need a lot of patience with this. You need discipline, and you need to stick with it. And for the long term, it's not a get-rich-quick thing at all. It will take a lot of time. I've been doing this for 3 years now, so it takes a lot of time. But you can certainly make whatever money you want. It's all up to you. It's all up to you. So that's it for this video. It's quite a long video. I'll leave the link to iCoin Pro in the description so you can sign up for free, check it out, ask me questions, anything like this, and yeah, I'll give you a little bonus if you register, even as a free member. There is a paid membership also. There are 4 different levels, free, and then 3 different paid levels. Each level obviously gives you more tools and education so you can be in more and more control of your financial future. So that's it for this video. See you in the next one.